Hello, and welcome to Renew Mind Revolution podcast with your host, Michelle Cook Hall. As always, it is my honor and my pleasure to be able to share some tips and tools with you to assist you in becoming a better you. Because guess what? When I help you, what am I doing? I am helping myself. Look, today is a good day. It's a great day to be alive. And so I'm so excited to be able to connect with you today. And I want to talk to you about what is going on with you right now as we are dealing with this pandemic. How are you handling it? How are you handling it emotionally and mentally as well as physically? So we don't want to always focus on just our physical, but we want to make sure that we're dealing with our mental and our emotional health as well. So let's talk about that today. Are you ready? Then let's go. Hi, everybody. Look, I am so excited to be able to share with you just a little bit today. I will not be keeping you for very long, but I do love to check in every now and then to make sure that you are doing your best, living your best. Want to make sure that you're not falling into the autopilot mode, which means that you're just existing and not living, because that is no way to approach life. We talked about that before, and so I'm just gonna begin off with what we talked about before, which is the autopilot, because I made it pretty clear to you that it is very easy during this particular time that we are facing as a community to fall into the autopilot mode, because now our schedules are off, right? We're not necessarily doing the same things that we were doing before. Some of our same routines have been compromised. Our work routines have been compromised. Some of us who exercise, the exercise routines have been compromised. Even our family routines, because now our children are at home. So their routine as far as going away, every day, the school has been compromised and changed, and therefore the flow of our homes have pretty much been compromised and changed as well, right? So when we get off of our schedules or our routines, sometimes it can be a lot to our system, right? It's like a shock to our system. And so we unfortunately sometimes we find an unhealthy way of handling all of the changes at one time. And so this can put us into a numbing effect. And what I have noticed a lot on social media, and sometimes it's done in a joking manner, but sometimes it's very realistic, is a lot of people are using alternative methods to cope with this change. They're individuals who probably didn't drink as much are now consuming a large amounts of alcohol, and other substance abuse drugs to cope with this. So what they're doing is they're numbing their pain, and that's just not a healthy way to approach change. It really is not. We have to make sure that while we're going through these different changes, we're finding positive, creative, and healthy ways of handling and facing and dealing with the many changes. And I do mean many that I just mentioned, changes that we are dealing with. Not only that, but we can talk about the fact of having to go out. Now you're wearing face masks, which a lot of us prior to were not. And we're doing this with people who we consider to be very close to us. We're talking about even our parents, right? Our close family that we're no longer residing under the same roof with, but maybe you want to go, and drop something by or visit them, but you don't want to compromise them. So you're having to wear a mask, not to mention the stores, right? Individuals, we see the lines of individuals waiting outside of stores, and they wearing their masks to protect themselves and protect others, and having to stay so many feet, right? 6 feet from each other. So there are so many changes that we have to deal with. And I spoke to you guys before in regards to my situation. I have a senior and an 8th grader who both were graduating. So the changes that they've had to deal with has been Oh my God, mind blowing. We're talking about having to go up to the schools and pick up their diplomas and pick up their graduation gowns and not interacting with any of their peers or necessarily even their teachers before they leave. Not having a formal graduation. I mean, these are things that they are now having to deal with, and trust me, it has not been easy. It has not been easy. It's been very challenging. So if you have children and you're a parent, then you have to not only deal with the changes that you're going through, but you have to deal with the changes that your children are going through. And you're having to find yourself have a conversation that you never thought that you were going to have, right? And so this is some of the things that we've had to adjust, right? We've had to, adjust to these different challenges and changes, because with changes come many challenges, many challenges, because now I have a senior graduate who needs to know what's going to happen after this. I have an 8th grader who graduated, who's now wondering, am I going to be able to walk into a school building, come the fall, because this is all that she's ever wanted, and all that she's ever, desired to see is, being that freshman and interacting with peers and meeting new people and participating in, extracurricular activities and all these wonderful things that we've all had the opportunity to experience, growing up. And now they are faced with the possibility that they will not be able to experience that. And so these are the challenges and the changes that we are all facing. And so it is very easy to fall into the autopilot mode, right? Where you're just existing, you're numbing, because one of the most difficult things is to face something that is very hard. It's to face it. I've seen many people who go through life refusing to face the things that they've gone through, the things that has been done to them. And what is mind-blowing to me in that perspective is that they obviously, visually, I can see, are suffering from the effects of what's been done to them or what they have been through, but refuse to face, refuse to handle. And we talk about that a lot, handling, because I believe in us handling situations and events and not allowing them to handle us, because I believe that we are equipped to handle the things that come in our lives, even if they are absolutely terrifying, absolutely overwhelming, absolutely unbearable to us. We think, I still believe that we're designed to handle it. And I can only say that because of the many different events that I personally have experienced that I just knew. And I'm very transparent with you guys. I just knew would break me in my mind. I'm like, okay, this is it. This is the one, right? I have convinced myself that this is it. If nothing else would break me, this is gonna do it. And guess what? It did not. It did not. I found strength where I didn't know I had it, right? I found boldness where I didn't know there was still boldness, where I thought I was completely exhausted. There comes hope. There comes hope. So I'm here to remind you of that. That's why I love to be able to connect with you, because I want to be that voice, that reminder, to tell you that, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how tough it gets, no matter how rough it gets, no matter how, detrimental this is to you, you have hope. You have hope. As long as you have breath in your body, you have an opportunity to move forward. You have an opportunity to persevere. You have an opportunity to rise up. And so I am just, constantly trying to, emphasize that to you, to not lose hope, to not, lose your joy, to not lose your peace, to not just give it over. And we can do that. We can do that based upon the many things that come into our lives we definitely can find ourselves in a situation and a condition where we're pretty much have just given up. And one of the topics that I was talking and sharing today, and I want to share with you, is, we sometimes find the strength to, fight for other people and to support other people, to pray for other people. But then when it comes to our own issue or our own condition, we are exhausted, we are tired, and therefore we have nothing left to give. And I want to remind you to never give up on you. I wanted to remind you to never lose hope for you. We can't have hope for our entire family and friends and not have something for ourselves. We have to make sure that we're not, falling and dropping the ball when it comes to ourselves. Okay? So never give up on you. If everybody else in the room turns their back, understand that does not have anything to do with you. If them turning their back on you, it's on them. It's not on you. Okay? It does not make it, permanent that you're not qualified. It does not make it etched in stone because they're turned their backs that you're not worthy of being saved or being helped or being given a second or third or fourth or fifth chance. It doesn't mean that at all. Sometimes I'm a believer that we have to learn to pick up our own selves, pick up our own selves. Sometimes we look for somebody to reach out and to pull us up. We look for somebody to reach out and give us a helping hand, but sometimes they will turn their backs and you won't have any person, I'm talking about people, to reach out and extend their hand and say, how you doing? Are you feeling okay? I've been thinking about you. Is everything okay? And that could be quite heartbreaking, because especially if you have been there for so many people, you expect them to be there for you. And when you don't get that, you feel heartbroken, right? But I just want to emphasize to you today that don't let that break you. Don't let that make you give up on who you are and your potential. See, sometimes we stuck into what we see now, all of our flaws, all of our issues, all of our problems, and we can't see past that. But I want to encourage you today to look past what you see and see what God sees when he sees you. One of the things that I was praying about today before I even decide to check in with you guys is understanding our identity, understanding who we are, that you are precious, that you are strong, that you are wonderfully, well, I always say this to you, right? Fearfully and wonderfully made, right? I'm always telling you that, right? That you are confident, that you are, you were made out of love. And I'm not talking about your parents. I'm talking about God. You were made and created out of love. It was intentional for you to be here. Even if someone has told you your whole life that you are a mistake, that is not true. That is not accurate. You are here for a reason, and you're here for a perfect purpose. And what I always say before I speak in front of a crowd, I always say that you are here for a reason. You are here for a purpose. It's in God's great design that you are here. So you look, feel free to use that. Feel free to use that. Okay. You are here for a purpose. You are here for a reason. It's in God's great design that you are here. So don't think that you're here by mistake. Don't think that it's an accident or a coincidence that you survived this long, being through all the things that you've been through. It's not by mistake. It was intentional that you're still surviving, that you're still conquering, that you're still making it. And you say, well, I'm at the worst. I'm at the lowest point of my life. How can I be conquering? You are conquering because you are still here. You're still here. So you are conquering. And just by you listening today to this podcast, you're furthering. You're moving further on into conquering land and conquering opportunities and conquering those battles that has been trying to keep you from your purpose. So whatever that wall is, whatever that hurt, that pain, that grief, or whatever it is that has kept you from moving forward, this is your perfect opportunity and a perfect time and a perfect day for you to begin to just battle with that wall, to make that wall come down. And if you feel like, looking at this wall is way bigger than you, well, it probably is. That's the healing part of it. It is bigger than you, but you're never alone. The Bible says that he will never leave us, nor will he forsake us. So you're not doing it by yourself. You have so much help. Like, once again, we're looking out for people to help us, but a lot of times people will not be there. They're not going to always be there. So we can't just, expect somebody to come and just rescue us. We have to learn to stand up. Use the strength that he has given you. I use the strength that he has given me, and I pull myself up. You pull yourself up, and we're going to be able to start to conquer, the things, the issues of our heart, the issues that have blocked us from moving forward. And let me emphasize this too, because I do not want to keep you guys too long today. Let me emphasize this too. Again, this is something that I've had to share, especially during this particular time. I've had to share this multiple times, and that is the only consistency in life is what? Change. It's change. The only consistency in life is change. So understand that it's a hard pill to swallow. It's a difficult reality to accept, but it is our reality. It is where we are. It is our reality. Okay, so we cannot pretend like it doesn't exist. We can't avoid it. So it's just best that we accept it. I want to make sure that you are taking care of yourself during this time. I do, and I'm going to emphasize this again. When this pandemic first really started, I emphasized a lot about you not continually watching 24/7, nonstop, all of the dread and gloom that's going on in the world. I always emphasize that you should be informed, you should be aware, but don't be consumed. Come on, somebody. I love that. I love that. I want you to be informed, aware, but not consumed, okay, by the things that are going on right now, because it's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for anybody. And I don't care how strong you are. I don't care how well put together you are. I don't care if you tell me I've never had any real issues, with emotional issues or mental issues or anything else like that. This is what the perfect storm. I've been saying this a lot. This is the perfect ingredients for a perfect storm. Okay, this is the perfect ingredients for a perfect storm, which means that even if you never had issues before, if you keep consuming all of this, you are going to create issues for yourself. And so we want to make sure that we're not doing that. We want to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves and make sure that we are staying healthy and staying productive. Listen, you guys, it has been an absolute honor and privilege to be able to come to you. Look, even if it's for just a little while, okay? I didn't want to stay with you too long. I didn't want to take up your whole entire day, but I wanted to give you a little time and share with you something that was on my heart that I feel that would help you. And so, as always, it has been my honor. It has been my pleasure to share some tips and tools to help you to become the better you. No matter how many mistakes you made, no matter how many poor choices you have made, no matter where you are right now, know that you can start all over again. So together, let's go ahead and click that reset button and start all over again. Once again, I am your host, Michelle Cook Hall, and this has been the New Mind Revolution podcast. God bless you guys. Have a great day.